Parking brake. This is episode 10. It's all about finishing up the parking brake. And I forget what else. Amber, what's episode 10 about? What's episode 10 about? Can you say the parking brake? We're finally done with drum brakes in the back. Parking brake works. Thanks for helping. Alright, so I need to make a bracket from here to here to hold this caliper. So my first idea is see if I can take advantage of the original bracket because it's got a weird shape. Looks like it's actually pretty thick. So I just cut this in half. It's actually some thick plate. Where'd it go? It's on the back side. It's 1/8 inch thick, 3mm. So let's see if we can reuse that for the start of the prototype bracket. It's going pretty good. I prescribed a line right here. I don't know if you can see it or not. I'm just kind of following that wall, trying to get rid of the curvy bottom and the curvy top at the same time. This may actually work. Alright, just got 4 of these. This saw is awesome for making nice straight square cuts. Alright, I think I figured out a way to connect the holes from the axle to the bracket, to the adapter. I took the old brake backing plate, chopped it up, and used it as a guide. Hopefully this works. Okay, now you can kind of see the design. Here's the axle tube. The bolts actually touch this plate, so I need another plate to space it up because of this thickness. If I would have ground this down, this could have been a flat piece of plate like 2 1/4 inches. But because of this lip, which is really the nut, right? The threads are in here, and another spacer here. So now I've got to remove all this axle tube. Now this is actually, no, this is the size. I was thinking this size is different. That's weird. Now why is that one bigger? Because this one, oh, it's this way. Yeah, so this tube, for some reason, I think the tube on the truck is smaller than this tube. Let's go check. Okay, I just wanted to test fitted this on the axle and it fit perfectly. I just need to angle this edge just a little bit because it's there's a flat spot and then it's kind of rounded where it goes down to the tube. So I just need to put a little bevel. It's perfect. So I just need to make another one for the other side. I would assume it's the same size for the other side. So you have to cut on the inside of this seam, and then you got to cut this way with the hacksaw. Get rid of like 3mm, 4mm of whatever you call this here. Now I've added 2 washers to this plate. Let's go put the nuts back on. And I've actually got it so I could butt weld or butt up our prototype bracket, which I think is soaking right now in a bucket of cleaner. Okay, just mocked this up and it seems to fit perfectly. So this is not the final product, but by making one piece for the axle and one piece for the caliper, it was easy. So I just kept cutting. I kept cutting this one down a couple of millimeters at a time until I got just the perfect placement of the caliper. So the pad set on here. These pads, even though these are for 95 Maxima, they're perfect for this 95 Pathfinder. So if anything, maybe a little bit small, but I think they're the same size. I could actually measure the outside. So now I'm going to weld this to this just for the fun. Then I'm going to go buy a piece of steel that's wide enough. This plus this, I don't even know what it is yet. I just know that this was just the easy way for me to do it because trying to get 4 holes in just the right place is too hard. So I made one piece for each, and held them together and kept cutting them until they fit. Now I'm going to weld them together, confirm that fits. Like I just held it up, I couldn't film it, it was too hard to hold, and with pads and everything, but it seemed to fit perfectly. So now I'm going to go ahead and weld this together as a prototype, and if it fits I'll use this as a template to make new ones. I may go a little bit thicker if I can find it. If not, this is 1/4 inch. That's pretty good. The bolts pretty much bottom out. They could be one size thicker. I don't remember what the frame was on the Maxima, but it's pretty close to 1/4 inch or one size thicker. Alright, so I just got my new fuse box. I wanted to start the truck, so I wanted to put the wire harness back in to start it, but the fuse box is just brittle and falling apart. So instead of buying another 6, I bought a 12 so I can add some accessories and add to the harness. So this is designed for boats, so it actually has ground and power fuses. LEDs to let you know when they're on. Positive lug and negative lug. Very nice. Comes with little labels. Even with a little cover. The whole thing was under 20 bucks. And it comes with a million fuses. And instructions. It's a no-name brand off of Amazon or eBay. Can't remember which one. Yeah, it doesn't matter. There's a whole bunch of them on there. I think it was eBay. Yeah, it looks pretty nice. So it should fit in the stock location and solve all my wire needs. All I gotta do is transfer over the wires, the 6 original circuits to this one, and I got 6 more. So I got the Weber installed, full of gas. Couldn't get it started because timing was off, so I'm gonna fix that later on. But I got a problem with the throttle linkage. When I put these on all my old Datsuns, and my 720s, I always just took this thing off of the old Hitachi carbs and put it on and got rid of this universal one. But I don't have a carb, so I had to go to the junkyard. It's hard to find a car that has a wired throttle nowadays, but I got this off of a I think it was like a 2001 Pathfinder, basically R50. I was looking at the steering and I just noticed that it had 2 of these, so I'm hoping that fits the Weber. Oh, I think it does. Haha, cool. I think these are all the same size. So now hopefully that will replace that universal one. Put that on there. There we go, it does fit. I think that's, oh geez, just misses the intake manifold. Uh-oh, is that gonna fit? I may have to do a little trimming. I think I could if I need, but I think it actually cleared. Amazing. Now I just gotta figure out, hopefully this ball from 1970 fits. Hold this a second. Will this fit a 2001 Pathfinder? Oh yes. Oh, I gotta love it when things just fit together. And you drop bolts all over the place. So now I gotta make a bracket. So instead of what I did in the past, I think I'm gonna make a bracket that hangs off these studs like the aftermarket ones. I was gonna make a bracket that hangs off of these bolts, but I'm afraid of what happened in the past when my 620 actually yanked the carburetor off. The spring was too tight on the throttle, so it kept pulling the carburetor off the intake with all the, I had like a stack of adapters. Didn't help. Actually I had a small fire once. But so I hate mounting brackets to the carb. But I think the fact, now that I think about it, pulling on here from the carburetor is less chance of yanking the carb off. Because I just constantly had those adapters coming loose. I'd Loctite them, tighten them as tight as I get them, and they just come loose. But again, I've got the one-piece adapter, so I'd really like to have a nice big steel bracket with the throttle cable right here. I'm really nervous about doing that just because of my history with these Webers falling off. So I'm debating on that. And I still got to fix this PCV valve. Somehow get that connected to that. So many little things to do. Alright, I've just butt welded those together. I'll cool off a little bit. And we'll put it all together for the first time and see what it looks like. Should fit. Then I got to figure out The next part is this little doohickey. Is this one even on? I don't think it is. This bracket needs to be modified, and this one needs to be modified. So we can actually hook up the cable to this. And it's going to be a little bit off angle from the Maxima, so you'll see in a minute. Alright, got the bracket on. I don't think it's C. I got the pad. I think that's close, as perfect as you can get. And then I can put the, I can't do this with one hand. And I can just put the caliper on like that. Let's put that on. What's it stuck on? Oh, is it a pin? Oh, it's a pin on the bottom. Oh, this pin. There's better lighting in here. Maybe I should put the pads in here. Where's the pad go? Stupid bolts keep falling out. I got the top one. There we go. Okay. Let's get this stupid thing to line up. Pretty much on. Let's get one of the bolts in. Going up all the way for some reason. Okay, one bolt is in. Looks like it lines up. Okay, she's on. So now we gotta figure out the cable mechanism. That looks good, man. It almost looks factory. Oh. You see that? Pathfinder, Maxima. Let's bring a little 521 in the mix. Oh, hit my head. I don't know how much cable I got. Oh, I can see it on the other side. Like you can see it over there. That looks like it's about halfway. I need to loosen this thing all the way up and see how much slack I got. Wow, that's kind of ironic. It's like right there. So now I have this crazy idea of taking the original. Where is it? Now I've lost it. Oh, here it is, right here. Cutting off this end. Just welding that on there somehow. So I'll convert it from, it's kind of like a male. 521 is kind of a male. The Maxima is kind of a female cable. So I can't have a male connected to a male. I can't modify the cable easily. So we don't need this thing anymore. Chop off a chunk of this and that'll solve two problems. One, it'll convert this from a male to a female, but it'll also, and then I got another problem is this bracket that was way down here. I might just weld that to the axle tube for this thing, but I don't think that's the same size, is it? There's no way they're the same size. Maxima 521. Oh my god. Yeah, a little small. Close, close. But I can make something that holds the axle. Let me think about that. No matter what I do, if I raise or lower the truck, the axle tube is always going to be here. So I could weld a tab on the axle if this cable is kind of his. It is where it is. And then, man, that's so tight. I gotta loosen the slack see if there's any more. Yeah, I just gotta and then put that on there. And bingo, we'll have cables. Obviously make another mount for the other side. Let's loosen the cable and see what we got. Yeah, I think it'll fit perfectly right here. Just put a little bit of a weld on there. Oh, it's nice and warm. And the spring actually fits on there just right around that. So hopefully when the cable pulls, it'll pull it the right way. Shoot, it looks like it's aiming the wrong way. Shoot, I hope that's right. Okay, so I just measured the offset or whatever. These wheels, the stock wheels, 14s, are 3 inches in. There's 3 inches between here and the tire. So I need at least a 2-inch wheel spacer. So I got the calipers on here, but I need a spacer, so or 18-inch wheels. I'm going to do both. I'm probably going to have Titan wheels on this at one point in the future, but for now I want to run the stock ones. To run the stock ones, there's 2 issues. One, they're ugly because they're too far in. I think they're 4 inches on the front and 3 inches on the back. So this is a 2-inch spacer. Before I buy some, I just want to see what it looks like. So that's 2 inches. It's the wheel centered. And it's, figure out how to do this and hold this. It's not bad. Could come out another inch. I like the tread width the same as the rim width. So these are what? 4-inch rims. Where's the tight tape? So these are. So these tires are, wow, pretty skinny. Only 5.5 inches tread width. That's what you want. The tread should be the same as the rim or greater. So these are 5.5. Tires are much wider. The rims are supposedly 4. Tires overall width is 7, which is not typical. I mean, they're not always that much bigger. They do look kind of skinny. Somebody put these tires on here. What the hell are they? Some 195, 75 14s. They're pretty tall. So there we go. I shoved a wrench under there. So yeah, that's a 2-inch block of steel. Let's see what it looks like from the back. Oh yeah, it looks a lot better. Those ugly blocks are gonna go. That broken mud flaps gotta go. Yeah, I think I'll live with that. Looks like the way it should have been stock, sold stock. So we'll do a 2-inch spacer on the front, 2-inch spacer on the rear, and then I can run the calipers, I think. Looks like they clear now. Let's see. They clear. The wheels are even center. I think so. The wheel is a little too high. That's a good sign. So if it was down lower, it's still definitely clear. I should have ran these calipers on my Pathfinder in the hard body. So those Pathfinder calipers. These are beefier and smaller. Alright. We'll link the back of this thing one day. But for now, I think I'm gonna order some spacers today. Oh, wait a second. I just about to order them and I just looked. You know what? I think that's gonna rub. These tires are fat. Shoot. Oh, man. Because right now it's a full droop. It's a full droop and with the blocks. The ride height, I don't know where it's gonna be. Is it gonna go up more? I don't know. I want it to be up more. So it's obviously 4 inches lower than stock. How much wheel travel? Looks like there ain't much. At least 1 1/4, maybe 2 inches of wheel travel. Ooh, this be pretty close. I may have 2 inches of clearance up. That may work. I wonder if I should get less. Shoot. Wish the tread was bigger. Wish the tread was wider. this flare. I love this arch. I don't want to bend it or cover it up with flares. Two inches is going to be cutting it close. I wonder if I should do 1.5 inches. Still be better than stock, and it'll still be enough to clear my calipers. What do you think? Say we chance to go 2 inches. Oh, actually the wheel's higher than it's supposed to be, so it's actually lower when it bottoms out. Doesn't need to bottom out, does it? I got so much clearance in there. I'm hauling a ton of gravel. Alright, I'm making another prototype just because I can't find steel the right thickness easily. Lowe's had some 3-inch wide flat stock. What was it? 1/8 inch? But this is 3/16, I think, or 1/4 inch. I need 1/4 inch or thicker, so I'm gonna have to buy some. So for now, I'm just gonna go ahead and make another one just so I can get the truck all mucked up, keep working on the cables. But a 3-inch piece of strap would be big enough to make this, or I could do a strap this way and strap that way and weld together, but it's too much work. One piece of steel is all I need. But I just noticed something interesting. When I welded this back together, I cut this thing so many times trying to fine tune the perfect dimension. That was why I made 2 pieces, right? But I just noticed on my cut line, I welded the good side to the good side instead of the cut side. That's the cut side. But ironically, that dimension fit perfectly, so I went ahead and cut this off, the extra, and there's the nice good side. I can't leave a gap because that's the dimension I need. I was about to test this one on the other side, but I know it'll fit. So I'm going to make 2 of them identical, and I'm going to make 2 more out of 1-piece steel once I can find some this thick, so that 1/4 inch or thicker. I think I can handle a little bit thicker, not much though. I guess let me tack this up like I did the other one. I'll be done with the brackets. Okay, now we're ready to go. So I just chopped up what's left of the original 521 parking brake lever. Figured I could use some of this funky shaped steel. I remember how it goes now. Let's put the spring back on. There's the spring. The spring has got to be on to make sure it doesn't get in my way. Or don't get in the way of the spring. So the spring goes on like that. So I think I had it mocked up a minute ago. Something like that. I can work the rest of this. Okay. So now what I can do is take this bracket off and take it over the bench, clamp it and weld it. Or maybe I should. And then come back and we'll weld on the little eye. Who knows where it goes? We could try a couple of places, maybe. Okay, well I better move that gas can before I weld. But basically I just clamp this tab on. I think just the right place. And then I can tack this on next, just the right place. The first goal is to get this bracket on in such a way that the spring can still be easily be removed without interfering with that. And I've raised it up the thickness with that steel. So we're going to put a little bead of there, and I guess a little dab of glue there. And then we can take this clamp off and weld the other. And if it's good, then we weld the other side. Should work. So I need to get the welder over here. And I need to move that gas can. Oh, that was nasty. Let's put the gas on. Okay, that's kind of where I want it. I got it clamped up. The only bad thing about this is where I want it, but the cable ain't long enough. And I think the cable on the other side isn't going to be long enough either. So I'll have to redesign the brackets, which probably won't be a bad idea because I don't think these cables are viable anyways. So if these ever break, I'm going to have to redo all this, use Maxima cables or God knows what. Probably go back to the original hook or who knows. Actually I could use hard body cables, they got the same eye. Redesign it, so let's just put it where I want it. I kind of like it straight with the pivot point. That way, just I put it way back here because it does curve. It goes back quite a bit. I don't want to. What the hell? Let's go up here. Let's go all the way to the front. We're gonna lengthen the cable. Let's put it right. Let's put it right in the middle. And I've got it teetered for a reason. Kind of the cable is kind of pulling. Well, it's actually pulling straight. Like, you see the hook over there? I want this to be kind of level because that's how the ball is. So we're going to use that line as a reference. Even though the bracket on the other side is not bent exactly the same. Maybe one's factory, one's not. I don't know. Shoot, that dent is going to mess me up because they're not the same. Okay, knowing that, let's put it closer to the edge. Because the dent doesn't mean anything. Okay, I want to be able to get weld on both sides, so I'm going to put it like 3/16 from the edge. Let's see, and that ball goes from the front. I'm just going to center right in that bracket, right about there. Wow, get it? I think so. Smoky. All right. I don't think I need these anymore. Just don't want to damage any of my seals. I plan on rebuilding these calipers, but just in case. I keep the heat down here. There we go. All right. Fortunately, I can't hook it up now. I gotta redesign the flipping mounts. Ugh, keep making more work for myself. Now I gotta take out the other side and make it match this one and hope they work. Let's take about the other side. Alright, so I just cleaned up these pieces. See where the weld, I didn't have the gas on. Messed that one up. So I just cleaned these on the wire wheel and try to get rid of the old clear coat or paint or whatever's on the factory stuff. You always do that first so you can paint it better. Now the trick is trying to make two of these exactly the same but mirror images. Somehow I gotta hold this on here and weld it. This will be fun. And then I can finish welding this. But I think I won't finish welding that one until I get this on the truck. I think I got enough weld on here. Maybe another little weld on there, a little stab. I gotta test these things, so I don't know if I have all the angles right. So I think that weld is enough for a couple of tests. So don't go crazy and weld everything like I always do. So let me make this one like that one, and then we can try to figure out how to make the cable fit these things. Okay, so here's the original adjuster. There's actually two of these adjusters. I just found another one in the back. But this is the first one. But the bolt was kind of rusty, and it was already kind of bent from somebody else trying to adjust it. Threads are kind of messed up, so I went ahead and cut it out. And here's the nut, a little square nut that was inside this, which was kind of undersized. You can see an 8mm will clearly fit in there. A 10mm will actually fit in there. What I'm going to do is I just mocked it up. Because I've got the lines on, I need to lengthen this a little bit anyways. I'm going to cut the head off of this, weld it onto the original clevis that goes up to the front. And then I got double nuts. I want to do a little bit different. Instead of just putting the nut through there and having it spin, this is how I think the Pathfinders are. I did this on my kink out. I'm going to weld one nut. I enlarged this hole, made it a little bit bigger, so 8mm fits through. I'm going to weld one nut to this instead of having it spin. Actually, look at that. It's almost the exact same size. But that doesn't work. So I'm just going to weld it on the outside. Cut the head off this bolt. Weld this onto here. And then to adjust it, you just spin this and hold this and you do the lock nut just like stock. This is a tiny little bolt. I think this is 1/4 inch by fine or whatever. We want to get rid of all that stuff, get everything to metric, make it easier to work on. So there's another one of these in the back of the truck that I need to replace at some point. For now, let's do this one. Let's all weld it up. A little too much speed on that one. That one I got the weld speed just right. Got 4 little blobs on there. Let that cool off. Put this thing back together. Now I may add a little more weld on there, just make it look better. Well, I've got it all set up here. And then should have a parking brake. Let me show you what it looks like. So I've actually got the spring on, the cable on. I don't know if I mentioned already, but this is exactly the right length. I don't know how I did it, but I intentionally welded these on where I wanted them, and I didn't care about the cable length was too short. But then when I went to install them the next day, the cable length seems to be perfect. They go in because I've got no pistons, oil in the cylinders, but both cables are on, and all I gotta do is put that on that other adjuster. It's all welded up. A little too much speed on that one. That one I got the weld speed just right. Got 4 little blobs on there. Let that cool off. Put this thing back together. Now I may add a little more weld on there, just make it look better. Well, I've got it all set up here. And then should have a parking brake. Let me show you what it looks like. So I've actually got the spring on, the cable on. I don't know if I mentioned already, but this is exactly the right length. I don't know how I did it, but I intentionally welded these on where I wanted them, and I didn't care about the cable length was too short. But then when I went to install them the next day, the cable length seems to be perfect. They go in because I've got no pistons, oil in the cylinders, but both cables are on, and all I gotta do is put that on that other adjuster. Alright, check this out. My new and improved. I hope I put that in the right place. Let's go through that hole of that one. That looks good. So here's that clevis I just upgraded to 8mm. So now you can adjust it by hand instead of wrenches. Oh, that's nice. If I could snug this cable up, you can see it's another adjuster over here. I just love the complexity of this.